Hello, everybody. As you know, this is the last online lecture for students who are coming to school on Monday. So this lecture is going to be a revision or a wrap up for all the objectives that we have covered since week 1 till now. First of all, I am going to remind you about the two themes that we have covered. The first theme is poverty and the second one is health and nutrition. As you know, in the first theme, we discussed the problems of poor people, the problems of child labor, of street kids, of the reasons why people become poor and the impacts of having a poor life. All of these issues were discussed in the first theme. As we discussed also the story of Yelena, who was an orphan and who worked to help her four siblings. So all of these were discussed in this theme. The second theme was health and nutrition. We have covered one lesson in this unit, and this theme talks about the importance of having a healthy diet and what are the impacts, the negative effects of junk food on our bodies and our brain. It talks about the importance of having healthy food, of exercising, of having a healthy lifestyle. We have we have explained only one lesson in this theme, in this unit, which is this is our body on fast food, and it explains what exactly happens to our bodies due to junk food, what are the diseases that might happen, what are the things that a person might suffer from due to junk food. So these are the themes that we have covered till now. We also covered 3 comprehension skills: cause-effect relationship, author's purpose, and comparison and contrast. In the first theme, we covered 2 skills, which are cause-effect relationship and author's purpose. In the second theme, we explained the comparison and contrast. Let's start revising what is a cause-effect relationship. First of all, we have explained that a cause is the reason and the effect is the result. We have explained that usually the cause comes first or happens first, and then due to this cause an effect or a result takes place or happens. So this is what do we mean by a cause and effect relationship. For example, the boy was grounded because he wasn't on green at school. He wasn't wearing green at school, so he was grounded. So you ask yourself, what happened first? What happened first is that the boy wasn't on green at school. So this is the cause. What is the effect? What happened because of this thing? He was grounded. So if I said the boy failed the exam because he didn't study well. So what happened first? What happened first is that he didn't study well. So the result was that he failed. So the cause-effect relationship is the reason and the result relationship. What happens and what this thing lead to or result to. Some of the transitional words that are used for causes are because, due to. One cause is since, for, first, second means first cause, second cause, third cause, and so on. And for effects, we can use consequently, as a result, therefore, thus. All of these are used for effects. Now we move to the second skill, which is the author's purpose. The author's purpose, as we said before, is the reason or the aim why an author writes a certain story or article or book or poem or whatever. The purpose after writing something. Okay, so the author's purpose is the reason why an author writes something, or why did an author write this thing. We have three main purposes, which are to persuade, to inform, and to entertain. We said that to persuade is when the author is trying to get you to try or do something, when the author is trying to convince you about something. For example, if you are reading an article about the importance of eating or of drinking orange juice in winter, so this is here the author's purpose is to persuade, because he's trying to convince you. Most of the times you can find this purpose in commercials, billboards, advertisements, opinions, and political ads. Mostly in advertisements, because they are trying to persuade people to buy a certain product and so on. To inform is when the author is trying to give information or teach you something. Most of the times you find this in expository texts, in nonfiction, history, science, news, articles, recipes, biographies, everything which contains real information and facts. Its purpose is to inform. And the third purpose is to entertain. It's when the writer or when the author is trying to make you enjoy the story, have fun while reading this story. Let's say grab your attention. This here in this this purpose is mostly found in fiction, in fantasy, in comics, in jokes. All of these aim to make the reader happy, feel, let's say, entertained while reading this one of these books or stories. So these are the three main purposes: to persuade, to inform, and to entertain. Now we move to the third skill, which is the comparison and contrast. And here it's a new skill. Let's start with the definition. First of all, I want you to know that when we compare, it means we are telling how two things, people, or places are similar. So when we compare, we are stating the similarities. We can use both, we can use similar, we can use as well, we can use likely. All of these words are used to compare. Now, when you contrast, to contrast is to state the differences between two things, people, or places, or events. So to contrast is to tell how they are different. Okay, so there is a difference between comparison and contrast. To compare is to state the similarities, and to contrast is to state the differences. Now we move to the contrast words used to contrast, such as however, in contrast, on the other hand, although, unlike, unlikely, but, yet. All of these are words used to contrast. Now, in order to compare and contrast, we use a certain graphic organizer. I want you to look at this graphic organizer here. This graphic organizer is called a Venn diagram. Okay, so this graphic organizer is called a Venn diagram. In this graphic organizer, you fill in with the similarities and the differences. Here, where I marked it in red, you fill in the similarities, both, as you can see, both. Okay, so what's similar between the two things, places, people, events you are comparing and contrasting. Now, here, on the other side, let's use another color. The green part here and the green part here are used to write the differences. So, let me give you an example. If I am comparing between airplanes and helicopters, Okay, I write the similarities here in the middle. I write everything about helicopters here, and everything about planes here. So the differences between them are written aside, and in the middle we write the similarities. The differences are written aside. So, and of course you have to add the headings here. For example, in a certain box, the helicopter and the airplane, you write the differences and the similarities. Now we move to grammar. In grammar, we have covered two lessons, which are the present simple tense and the present progressive tense. Let's revise together what are the rules of the present simple tense. The present simple present simple tense is used to with plural nouns or with pronouns that has no special endings. So when we use the present simple with plural nouns or pronouns, we do not add anything to the verb. We do not add even s. When we use the simple present with singular nouns or pronouns, we have to add s. Now, there are some spelling rules for adding the s. Now, for the verbs that end with es, for the verbs that end with o, sh, double s, ch, x, and z, in this case we have to add es to the verb. If the verb ends with y, you have to look at the letter which is before the y. So if the y is preceded by a consonant, you replace the y with I and then you add es. And if the y is preceded by a vowel letter, I mean a, I, o, u, e, then you just add s to the verb. And of course, verbs, the simple present verb is used with I and you, and with no special endings, means the root form of the verb. Now we are going to remember together what are the uses of the present simple tense. So the present simple is used to express habitual actions, actions that we always repeat, maybe daily, maybe weekly, monthly, yearly, actions that we are used to do. It's also used to express general or scientific facts, real facts. It is used to express opinions. It is used to express scheduled future actions. And it is used in a time clause. In a time clause means, for example, if I said, when he comes back from the beach, call me. So as if there is a period of time between the action and the other. And scheduled future actions are actions which are already planned for to happen in the future. The form of the present simple tense. Let's read these two sentences. A person with low self-confidence avoids social gatherings. The subject is a person and the verb is avoids. As you can see here, the subject is singular. That's why we added s to the verb, because the subject is singular. Let's read the second sentence. They avoid going to the mountains during winter for safety reasons. The subject is they, which is a plural pronoun. And the verb is avoid, so we didn't add s to the verb because the subject is a plural subject. Now we move to the questions and negatives. Let's read the sentences that we have here, the examples. In the affirmative first, Jen participates in school play every year. Negative is the opposite. I mean, you have to add not. So Jen does not participate in the school play every year. Now you start your question with does. Does Jen participate in the school play every year? Notice how we added the verb do to make the negative and question forms to the sentence. Okay? Now, let's see the second example and see what's the difference. Jake is a self-confident person. Jake is not a self-confident person. Is Jake a self-confident person? Here, we don't add the verb do because we already have a helping verb is. So when you have a helping verb in the sentence, there is no need to add the verb do to form a question form and a negative form of a sentence. Now we move to the second part, which is the present progressive tense. In present progressive, let's read the sentences and see what are the uses. The teacher is currently explaining a new lesson to the class. Is currently explaining means is explaining now. I am working hard in order to improve my fluency in English. I am working at the meantime, nowadays. This weekend, we are visiting my friend at the hospital. Let's see the three sentences. The teacher is currently explaining a new lesson to the class. So this sentence is expressing an action happening now, at the moment. So the teacher is explaining a lesson now. So the first use of the present progressive tense is to express an action that's taking place at the moment of speaking. The second sentence, I am working hard in order to improve my fluency in English. Here, this sentence is expressing an action which is taking place nowadays, not necessarily at the moment of speaking. So the second use of the present progressive tense is to express an action taking place at the present, means nowadays, these days, during this month, during this week, but not necessarily at the moment of speaking. The third sentence, this weekend we are visiting my friend at the hospital. Expressing a planned future action. Let's see, what do we mean by a planned future action? This weekend means the upcoming weekend. We are visiting. It means we have already planned to visit our friend at the hospital. So this is called a planned action. So the third use of the present progressive tense is to express a planned future action. So the three uses of the present progressive is to express an action that's taking place at the moment of speaking, express an action that is taking place at the present, but not necessarily at the moment of speaking. Number three, express a planned future action. Now we move to the form of the present progressive tense. The present progressive tense is formed with a subject, means the doer of the action, verb to be am, is, or are, the main verb plus ing. Let's look at the examples here. She is the subject, is the helping verb or the verb to be, cook is the main verb, and then ing. So she is cooking in the kitchen. They are playing football. They is the subject, are is the helping verb, play is the main verb, and ing, they are playing football. He is going to the gym a lot these days. He is the subject, is the helping verb or verb to be, go is the main verb, and ing, to the gym a lot these days. Now we move to a very important note, which is about stative verbs. We have explained this before, and I have told you that stative verbs cannot be written in progressive, I mean ing form, because these verbs express or describe mental state, emotional state, verbs of senses, and verbs of possession. Let's see. These verbs describe a mental state. It means everything related to mentality, know, recognize, believe, think, remember. So I cannot say I am imagining, I am realizing, I am remembering. These verbs are only used in their base form. Emotional state, everything related to emotions or feelings. You cannot say I am loving, you cannot say I am hating, I am adoring, I am disliking, he is fearing. Also, these verbs are used only in the root form. Verbs of senses, which describe the five senses, smell, taste, hear, see, and feel. Also, these are used in their root form. Verbs of possession have, own, belong, and possess. I cannot say I am owning, for example, a red car or a beautiful house. So also these are used in their root form. So these verbs, the stative verbs, describe a state in which no obvious action takes place, okay? You cannot see the action which is happening. Now, just a quick note related to the verb have. Have is used in the simple tenses when it means possess. Like I have two cars, I have a red bag, I have a beautiful necklace. Okay, when it means possess. But when it is used as a real verb, as an action verb, it means like I am having or she is having a bath now. It can be used in the continuous tense. Questions and negatives. Let's read the examples. In the affirmative form, I am playing football. Of course, as we said, the negative form is not, usually. I am not playing football. And interrogative, am I playing football? He is playing football. He is not playing football. Is he playing football? So as you can see, we always start the interrogative sentence with the verb to be. They are playing football. They are not. Are they playing football? So as I said, you always start with the verb to be. Okay, now we move to the revision time. Of course, I have told you that there is a worksheet that we have to revise to solve in order to wrap up all the objectives that we have covered. Okay, this is the revision sheet. This is the selection. You have to read it and you have to solve the exercises. We will solve the exercises together on Monday, but I hope that you all read the text at home. I will read it for you and we will explain it on Monday. Read the selection below about food choices that maintain healthy bodies and help people live better, and then answer the questions that follow. Why should we make healthy food choices? Aristotle says, let food be your medicine and let medicine be your food. Actually, nowadays, most people are relying on fast, canned, and processed food to catch up with the age of hasty. According to Sarah Krieger, a spokeswoman for the American Dietetic Association, heart disease, cancer, diabetes, depression, and other health conditions are the byproducts of reliance on such foods. According to the International Food Information Council, all the people are invited to make healthy food choices due to many realistic reasons. Eating a healthy, balanced diet provides nutrients to your body. These nutrients give you energy and keep your heart beating, your brain active, and your muscles working. Also, nutrients help build and strengthen bones, muscles, and tendons, and also regulate body processes, such as blood pressure. Moreover, healthy eating and good nutrition can lower your risk of developing a range of chronic diseases. For example, eating more fruit and vegetables can help lower diabetes, high cholesterol, and blood pressure, and may lower your risk of certain types of cancer. Eating less saturated fat may also lower your risk of heart disease. We need to make healthy food choices and be healthy to enjoy life more. Sure, you can prevent disease and improve your energy levels by taking care of your health, but maybe that's not the ultimate goal. By keeping yourself healthy, you're also improving your quality of life. You'll have more strength to go hiking, play your favorite sport, or walk with your dog. A healthy mind means less stress and more chances to enjoy doing different things with people you love. If you always wanted to travel after you will retire, being healthy will allow you not only more years to explore, but also to improve your chances that you can make the most of each trip. We need to make healthy food choices in order to reach our goals. Whether you have a goal of climbing the Kilimanjaro or a goal of getting a promotion at work, staying healthy will help you achieve it. Health means more energy while at work, improved memory and attention span, and even better mood. All those qualities can help you improve your chances and advancement at work. If you have a mighty goal, such as running a marathon, the need to be healthy is even more obvious. Try to achieve a balance with the food you eat and include a lot of variety, and remember all things in moderation. You are what you eat is an expression that became commonly used long before we knew exactly how much profound truth it has.